What's up, y'all? It's Calvin here, and I want to holler at you guys about the Jayland Walker situation. And it saddens me to see the reaction from a lot of the black community. Even though they are bringing up some brilliant points about racism and things of that nature, they are not stating the fact that this is a racist and white supremacist system. It was built on those values, and it is running exactly the way that it was intended to run concerning us. You know what I'm saying? But like I hear all of these people talking about what these white folks are able to do in the society, and it doesn't matter how good the situation is or how bad it is, black people are going to catch it the worst because, again, that's the way the system was designed. All right, and there's actually places on the planet where you can go where there ain't no white folks and you won't have to deal with none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I've often recommended that people get their passports. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to change this system. This system is never going to change. You know what I'm saying? It was designed for us to get shot up 60 times. You know what I'm saying? And like it or not, Jayland Walker, he opened up the door for them to do that to him. You know what I'm saying? It's just because, like, once you get into the hands of your enemies, you got to move a certain way if you want to make it out of that situation. And he did the wrong things, all the wrong things, man. And I ain't just talking from a Prue's perspective. I got a brother that's doing over 1,000 years in prison for shooting somebody that shot him 3 times. And my aunt just happened to be a nurse that was working in the operating room when he came through there, and the doctor said, F that nigger, leave the bullets in him. And to this day, my brother got 3 bullets in him. And the person that he ended up shooting, they had some clan ties. And do you know that we had to get the police department to watch his mother's home? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand what racism is all day long. You know what I'm saying? I know it very personally. We can't continue to act like we don't understand where we're at, you know what I'm saying, and start moving accordingly. Like, we cannot afford to continue to be emotional, you know what I mean? Because it isn't going to serve us well at all. You know what I'm saying? This is the time to get into a defensive posture and to get amongst ourselves. Like, segregation would be the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Or like leave the country. Like these would be some of the best bets for black folks. But for whatever reason, we think that the system is going to change, and it is just sad to see. Cause like you're not gonna run from the police, man, nowhere around the Central Texas area, no matter what color you is. And then when you do stop, you get out of the car with a mask on. Like it ain't no, man. Like everybody would advise you against doing that. Texas Syndicate, Mexican Mafia, Aryan Brotherhood, the Bloods, the Crips, Black Gorilla Mob, like all of the crews in my area, like the OGs would have told you, like, don't do that. And it's absolutely no different in Ohio where this guy came from. Like, I got family up there, all right? And as a matter of fact, Ohio was the first place that I ever got robbed. I was 6 years old. Somebody went upside my head and robbed me for $5, man. Got $5 of candy money. And you know what I'm saying? Like, Ohio is that type of place, man. It's very cold, very rough, and it goes down. And, I got a cousin got shot in the head. Thank God she's alive and normal, fully functional, you know what I'm saying? But, like, that's what it was like there. And I guarantee you that this guy died the way that he was living, you know what I'm saying? Like, without a doubt. And we have to be honest about these things, man. Otherwise, it's going to keep happening. You know what I'm saying? Because when we go and rally for this type of behavior, this emboldens the next young man to do it, thinking that, you know what I'm saying, oh, because they made a fuss about it, we can get away with it this time. And it is not the case, and it's sending the wrong message, man. It is sending the wrong message. I'm hoping that we as black people can wake up to this fact, man. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a tailspin until we just, involve ourselves in an unorganized mess. Like, I completely understand the old man that was crying, you know what I'm saying, at the state of the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, I 100% get it, because I feel the same way about my people. You know what I mean? It's just, we've got all of the power. All that we got to do is just make a decision and collectively just leave. You know what I mean? Just take a step back. And it's not necessarily leaving the country, but just using our dollars, keeping it amongst ourselves, keeping our talent amongst ourselves, and work on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And this is the advice I would give to somebody that I love as well. Comply, pull over. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got license and registration, keep your hands where their eyes can see. If it was a mental health issue, because they were saying that the guy, his fiance passed away. And if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? These are things that can devastate people and drive them into a deep depression that will make them do something crazy. But it just, now that this situation has happened, it's up to us to let our young people know, hey, if you get in this type of situation, just pull over and be honest with the officers. Hey, man, I need to talk to somebody about mental health. I'm not in a good space. That would be a better situation than hopping out of the car after a high-speed chase with a mask on. It's just better. True enough, you could run into a racist cop. You could run into a dirty cop, and they'll kill you. Because I've seen situations where both things have ever happened, particularly being black. So I am not discounting that. But that's not what happened in this situation. It was a high-speed chase, and then you get out of the car with a mask on. Oof, like, even if you was dealing with all black police officers, man, like, you can still get shot like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a good idea. But I'm not hearing a whole lot about that advice being put out there. It's just, well, these white folks can shoot up schools and they can get arrested just fine. It's just like, man. It's as if a lot of these black folks on social media, it's almost like they want to see a young black male commit a heinous crime and be able to have his head held high with Happy Meal in hand going to prison for the rest of his life. And it's just, this is strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, I find this very strange and very backwards. But as always, I would like to bring solution. And as the scripture that I put up, Isaiah 33 verse 6, at the end of that scripture, it talks about the fear of the Lord being his treasure. All right. And I want to address what the fear of the Most High God is, so that way we'll have a better understanding of how to stay in his will and do what is pleasing to him. All right. Because there's plenty of young men that were living righteously in Akron, you know what I'm saying? Black young men, you know what I'm saying, that was following the laws of God, that didn't meet the same fate that this guy did. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys weren't getting shot up 60 times, okay? So what I'm about to tell you, it works, okay? This is not something that I'm guessing at, you know what I'm saying, or trying to ponder, all right? Because, again, this young man, as sad as it is, he died the way that he lived. And this is how it happens with so many of us. Like, I had a cousin, he died being a man, got shot in the neck. Got another cousin named Nate, he got shot sitting in the back of a car behind some drama that didn't even have nothing to do with him, but he was banging and he was in the mix, and that's what come with it. You know what I'm saying? So I have cried real tears behind this. I done shed blood behind this, done bled behind this. You know what I mean? And I understand what it is out there, man. Nice people are not walking around there in them streets, because I definitely wasn't when I was out there doing what I was doing. And I was not living righteously. I didn't operate with the fear of God. And so anyways, to make a long story short, let's get to it with the definition. And this is Psalms 34, verse 11. All right. And it says, "Come, ye children, hearken to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord." Verse 12, it says, "What is a man that he desireth life and loveth many days, that he may see good?" And this is basically posing a question of, what would you have to do to live a long and good life? All right. And then in verse 13, it answers that question. It says, "Keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile." All right. And when it comes from our tongue speaking evil, that means that you don't need to be in nobody's wife ear pitching woo, and you don't need to be in nobody's husband's ear pitching woo, so on and so forth. Saying prefers things, setting up plots to steal, kill, rob. These are evil speeches. You know what I'm saying? Things that bring contention, strife. You know what I mean? That's all evil speech. Okay. And when it comes to the guile, that is crystal clear. That's lying. You know what I'm saying? Spreading rumors and lying and things of that nature. All right. And then in verse 14, it says, "Depart from evil and do good, and seek peace and pursue it." And I know when I was running the streets out there, I did not depart from evil, and I was not pursuing peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, not at all. Okay. And it is no different with a lot of these guys that are getting shot up by the cops, man. Like, the way that they are living is the way that they're dying. You know what I mean? And I gotta keep saying that, man. Like, it just seems like the truth of our own behavior is just something that we walk right past, blinded by the emotion that the media frenzy has allowed to or that people allow to stir them up. And it's so old, it's so repetitive, and it's just like, man, like we still have not woken up from it. But coming back to the fear of God, this can keep us from these types of situations where we're getting shot up, period. Because as I stated before, there's plenty of righteous young men all across the country in crime-riddled areas everywhere, and they're not having any of the problems that the guys that are out there living wickedly are. You know what I'm saying? And like the fact that this guy ran from the police, it reminds me of the scripture. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it was like the wicked flee when no man pursueth. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of like the mentality that a lot of these guys have. And it's just, they ain't living right, man. And when you stay in your sin so long, man, like the most I get tired of that stuff, man. That's why I thank God for every day that I have, man. Because I'm telling you, I used to be out there in the streets, man. I have made it through some high stake type situations, man. You know what I mean? On a couple of occasions, I could have died. You know what I'm saying? So it really does hurt me to see situations like Jayland and things of that nature, because it could have been me, and a lot of y'all were the same way, just reckless like this, man. And it's gonna continue if we don't really make that voice be heard above all of this emotion. All right, so I hope this resonates with you guys. This is the Pod Roast.
Here come the hot stepper, here come the spiritual warrior. Excuse me, good people, I still love you like that. Hey.